What is going on, everybody? Welcome to your new midday staple in Detroit sports right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Welcome to Big D Energy. My name is Neal Ruhl. My guy's running with me all the time. You know this one, Joique Bell, former Detroit Lions great. Darren McCary needs no introduction anywhere in this city, but hey, it's Darren McCary, everyone. Again, my name is Neal Ruhl. Happy to have you with us. Make sure you download that Woodward Sports app if you're on Facebook, Twitter, however you're doing it. We're glad that you are. A special guest running with us here in the studio today. T-Foss, Terry Foster, Detroit sports legend, is here as well. But welcome, Big D Energy right here on Woodward Sports. And Joique, man.
What up,
it's on and popping now,
it's
my
on
friend.
and popping. Big D Energy. Detroit all the way through and through. So it's dope, man. You know, it's exciting to be able to start something new here, a new chapter. Good to have D-Mac on the show now. Shout out to T-Foss, a professional like yourself, a legend in the game yourself. A legend in the game yourself. And so it's exciting. So I'm happy to be a part of this.
Yeah, Big D, big Detroit energy, and we all bring it. You know, Terry's in here, he's the OG of the crowd, and Joique and I are going to bring it just the way we brought it on the ice. And Neal, you're going to do the same thing that you do for the Oakland Grizzlies and that great Detroit football, the soccer football club
right
downtown. So this is exciting, brand new chapter, but maybe we'll give you a little bit behind the curtain. At least in our locker room, Joique, we had a gray curtain. Scotty Bowman put up a gray curtain between the Iron Curtain, right? Exactly. So we used to have a curtain, right, where the media members couldn't go behind. So the guys would always, before the media guys came in, would run out and get into the training room or and once you're behind the curtain, you couldn't go. All right. It worked out for me because I would be the last one. You know, I was always begging for a microphone. So
You always bagging?
I was always begging. You always stick one in my face, and here we are now.
It just depends. Whenever we lost, I was usually the first one to the locker room, because what you do is when the game is over, you go to the locker room. The coach comes in, he does a quick speech, and then within like 5 minutes of that speech, media's coming in. And so what players will do is, when the game was over, they will rush to the locker room, get the tape off, get their pads off, and take a shower before all the players came into the locker room. And so by the time the coach got in, you just had to put your clothes on and walk out, which you can probably do in like 2 to 3 minutes. And so I will always be out of there on a loss. But when we win, hey.
Where the mics at? Where's the camera?
Word.
No, but you know what? Though
so y'all didn't want to be bothered with us,
right? And T, I'm the one. They talk about that when the game ends. I'm the one that's got to explain it on television. You know, right. I gotta take up and figure out what's going on and deal with these emotions that are running high. That's when the hard work started for me, or starts for me.
Yeah, I know. I knew they were running from us, but I catch them anyway.
Yeah, they were contractually bound to come talk to me. Like, they were sponsors and everything like that. So I had the easy life, T.
They didn't have to talk to me, but that's all right. Still love them. Yeah.
But we are Big D Energy here, Woodward Sports Network, and we'll be with you every day, 11 to 1, Monday through Friday. So make sure, again, you subscribe on YouTube, download that Woodward Sports app as well. But, guys, again, just happy to be with you guys. You guys provide a lot, certainly. I'll lean on you guys for a lot of the inside stuff, because I think it's important to have D-Mac, to have Joique here, because they can make things make sense, I guess you would say. Because us as fans, and look, I grew up, I'm as Detroit as it gets. My parents worked in the car factories, all that kind of stuff. Grew up a Detroit sports fan, and sometimes we don't understand the full story. So I know, and Joique, you and I have done a couple shows together. D-Mac, you and I worked in a previous radio life together. So you guys have that ability to take everybody inside and explain how the reality works.
Yeah, it does. So it's funny, when I used to do the show, so I do the Balling with Bell. And so when I look at certain plays, I see different things, or I look at it differently from what a regular supporter or a fan will look at a particular play. And there's always a method to the madness. And sometimes I can kind of bring light to what the fans or viewers might not understand or might not know, and try to make it make sense.
I realized this last night doing a season ticket holders event, is that, I am as trained as anybody else from getting beat down over the years and years by Steve Yzerman. So there's a certain, when he talks, I've been trained to listen. And, one of the things that sometimes I get ahead of myself is I think everybody understands like I do. To what Joique said, is that maybe there's just the intricacies that we can provide to the why. I always say, I can figure out morally which side of the line so it's not about the right or wrong, but if I understand the why, and maybe we can give you a little bit of the why behind it. I'm excited too, because I never played football and I'm a huge football fan and a Lions fan like everybody else, but to be able to pick Joique's brain on why guys do this, or in order this season, especially with this Lions team, is we're looking for building blocks and progress. So stick around, because no better guy to give you the insight than Joique Bell.
Absolutely. And if you go to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel as well, you've seen that before. We're going to carry that over, the Ballin' with Bell segment. It's enlightening. If you're a fan, I mean, the way that you slow down the video and explain everything that goes on, it makes you watch the game differently. So we'll definitely be keeping that as well. We have Fish in the house too. Art is here. So we're doing it, man. Big D energy. We're not going to push the reset button on the whole Joique Art thing. I think we should for today.
No. Beat that.
Right, yeah.
Listen, beat that guy down. He deserves it.
So there you have it.
Joique.
Yeah, there you have it. But I figure now is as good a time as any, because as we welcome in the new show, as we get things going, just to kind of take a spin around the state of Detroit sports. And what this will do, this will give you guys the opportunity to see where we stand on some things, pick Joique's brain, pick D-Mac's brain as well. Certainly everybody that's being involved on the social media platforms as well. You know, Jenna Newman's on Facebook Live, says, good morning, Joique, Darren, and Neal. Who's got that big D energy? Well, people are excited, man. They are.
They are.
But, yeah, I mean, Joique, you know, as we look at the current state of affairs, I guess you would say, we'll take a spin around the sports here in Detroit. Joique, the sport you played is front of mind right now, the Detroit Lions. We've touched on it a little bit. You know, as they stand right now, the Lions organization, give me a 30,000 foot right now, Joique. Where you at with them?
You know, I like them. I like, you know, it's weird because I haven't seen too many players come in with the type of ability of Cade Cunningham, but it's not just what he does on the court as far as his ability, but it's the way that he communicates with his teammates. And when I was kind of listening to the mic'd up version of what he was of the summer league and how he was talking to his teammates and how he talks his teammates up. I remember he was talking about Killian Hayes and talking about how coming out of his rookie year, he was probably one of the best, if not too many rookies were as good as him with getting through the screens and being able to stay on this man, and how that part of his game, he's getting more confident in himself, and how that's going to elevate his game overall. And so to see him sit back and talk about his teammate like that is reassuring. It's reassuring, and I'm glad that we have that on our team. We need that on our team, that type of leadership, and we also need great players, great young players, kind of like the Killian Hayes and the Sadiq Bey, those guys coming in and you know, contributing. And I mean, we have leaders like Jeremy Grant already on the roster. You have more guys like Josh Jackson. I'm excited about this thing.
T-Foss, you know, you were on the 30 for 30, you know, about the Detroit Pistons. You're a good go-to source as far as that goes. You covered this league for a long time. Do you recall? And look, I'm fully on board. And with what Troy Weaver has done, do you recall a time in NBA history where, if you took the names off the jerseys and you dropped them in a game, this team 2 seasons ago, even last season, and you watched them play, and then you looked at this team, this version of the Detroit Pistons, you watch them play, have you ever seen a roster flip that quickly? Just the athleticism that this team has versus the lack of athleticism.
Never, and it's something that people have been calling for years. Don't do the old status quo. If you see a roster that's broken, that needs refresh, then do it. And I think either past general managers were afraid to or didn't know how to do it. But here's one thing that we need to look out, and this is what I believe. This is the best group of general managers at the same time in Detroit history. You got Brad Holmes, you got Troy Weaver, and Steve Yzerman. We've never had it this strong before, so that's why I have optimism that something is going to pop in this city in the next few years.
And to your point, Terry, the worst GM in town has the best coach. Right, Al Avila has AJ Hinch, right? So, you know, when I went through this, just as far as something that I did, I ranked all 4 general managers and I ranked all 4 coaches. And what I came to in my vote is the Wings and the Pistons are at 4 each. I have Blashill as the 3rd best coach because you can't give Dan Campbell, who hasn't coached a day yet, he's got to be at the bottom. Right, but Steve Yzerman being at the top, and then you look at Troy Weaver and Dwayne Casey. I think that's a solid 2 in this city with, you talked about Cade Cunningham, what he brings to this team. Forget about talent. If you were drafting the most talented guy to go out and set all the records, well, you would have an argument with Jalen Rose. But if you're drafting a team guy that fits into the system, to everything Joique was talking about, when you listen to the little things of how he talks up his teammates, how the camaraderie, the culture that they're building there, you hit it on a point. Anybody like Terry, been around for so long, is that this is the precipice. Not only, it's exciting because of the Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, but all these teams are all building at the same time, and you nailed it. I mean, as far as whether it's always good, because when you have a GM maybe that hasn't done things you liked in Alavila, but AJ Hinch, who's the skipper, is doing one heck of a job and at the top. So there's progress and culpability there. So
and this town too. I mean, that's a great point that T-Foss brought up, because in this town, the way it's flipped, and this is something you guys will hear me say this today, tomorrow, a year from now, 5 years from now, because this is what I truly believe about sports now. When you mix in salary caps and rookie contracts, this is a rookie contract era that we're in sports because of the fixated salaries, and Steve Yzerman has done a good job of this, and it's a little bit different because of with the Pistons. You get that immediate impact because they get drafted, then a week later they're playing on national television, the biggest summer league game in the history of the NBA, as I said yesterday, Joique. But you know this, Darren, it's a little bit different with baseball and hockey because Stevie Y's taking these guys. You won't see them for 3, 4, 5 years, but the way of operating has stayed the same, in that you're going to build this through the draft, through acquiring draft capital and rookie contracts, and that Stevie Y did it in Tampa. He's following the blueprint again. Would you agree with that?
Well, I think he said it himself when he was asked, and he said, well, you look at the Tampa Bay Lightning, how they built their Stanley Cup winning team. They built their goaltending defense out, and I laughed because he built the team, so nice pat on the back. But that's, those are the things that I look for, and like you said, it's a different thing. The one thing, you look at the Pistons, right? It doesn't matter now with Troy Weaver, because I would expect that they could have the most immediate success being that first overall pick, but he's not going to get credit because the luck of the draw came. He was given the first pick. The one thing is that Steve Yzerman and his crew at the Detroit Red Wings,
it's been the opposite
they've had it
of
the
that.
hard way the whole time, so it proves, and I tell everybody, listen, the Wings will get back to the winning ways and being consistent. Why? It's not because of the pedigree. It's because of the work ethic. Bottom line. Nobody outworks those guys now in the office. They're watching video right now. It's August.
It is August. But, Joique, the Detroit Lions, and I think what Brad Holmes has done, you and I have discussed this, it's been the same blueprint. The Stafford trade, I think, really accelerated what they're going to be able to do. You have multiple first-round picks, and it's looking up. Now it's a whole other thing to draft the quote-unquote correct player or the correct guy. But with that being said, the draft capital is there. He has the tools. He has the poker chips, I guess.
Yeah, so he does. So when you came on the show and we talked about the Matthew Stafford trade, you said that you love that trade.
Love the trade.
You love the trade. You love the trade because what we got for it, right?
Right, absolutely.
Right? And so I love the trade if we make the right picks in the draft.
Well, yeah.
Right. And so when that happened, I had to take a step back.
Those things are mutually exclusive.
Right. So I had to take a step back, and we have to look at the bigger picture. So when the draft came around, what is Brad Holmes known for? He's known for drafting or evaluating college talent, and that's exactly what he did. He was able to take his biggest strength and apply it to the draft, and I think that was the biggest part for him, was coming in and getting these draft picks right. And for me, it was an A- for the draft, and it could be an A+ depending on what the 6 or 7 round players do. And so for him, Terry mentioned this the other day, coaches or GMs feel like they have to get that first round and second round pick right, and then whatever else happens. But with Brad Holmes, he understands that it's every round is going to be very crucial to what we bring here to this organization, because we're in the rebuild phase, and I'm excited to see what he does in the future.
But T-Foss, that's always the elephant in the room, right? With this Detroit Lions organization, and look, that's what he excels at, but that's what he's going to have to excel at.
The problem with the Lions in previous regimes, if they didn't get it right in the first or second round, they weren't going to get it right. Now you have the confidence in Brad Holmes. He's going to get the third and fourth, fifth rounds correct. Because when you look at NFL rosters, we all talk about the first-round picks and the playmakers and how much we love them. But a lot of these rosters made up of third, fourth, fifth-round guys. That's the glue of your team. And I do want to challenge Mr. McCarty on something. You said that Troy Weaver is not going to get credit. Yes, he will. Here's why.
He won't get as much credit to overtake Steve Eisman as number 1 GM.
I don't agree with that, because what Troy Weaver did is he took the crap that Stan Van Gundy put in there and got rid of it. It's something that a lot of people feel you can't do that. It's going to be impossible.
Stevie Y has these nightmare contracts to deal with, though, too.
Listen,
nightmare
Terry,
contracts.
to your point, though, right, that when you get the lottery pick for the first overall, you put in a different position where automatically people think, okay, it was easier for you, because you didn't have to work for it. I'm just saying, from the outlook of it, what you say, I agree with you 100%. But what have you done for me lately? People forget all that stuff. It
started last year, and if this guy can play, it looked like he may have hit on Luka Garza too.
Yeah.
No, it just wasn't the first pick, but he might have 2 guys that are really going to be able to help this team.
Hey,
and it started last year.
No, I agree with you as far as he's done as much of the effort, but you look at what Steve Eisman has to do. He had to do more work.
Yeah,
because you just get rid of guys. That's one thing. The difference with Eisman is he's got to work the salary cap. He's got to manipulate this. He's got to manipulate that.
In that case, we got to bring Brad Holmes in it. If we got to talk manipulating the salary cap and bringing in players and working with more players, how you not bring Brad Holmes in it?
No, he is in there, but you got to produce.
Absolutely. Well, guys, here's what we're going to do.
I'm talking at the end.
Let's take a break real quick. Let's come back to it. But before we take a break, you got something to tell us about MyBookie?
I do, actually. Anybody out there? Obviously, this great world of sports gambling we live in. MyBookie, in the world of sports, the offseason is a time to relax and regroup after a hard-fought season. But playing with MyBookie gives you the choice to decide when your season begins and when it ends. And at mybookie.ag, you can bet on hundreds of games and leagues from around the world. You know, fish every night, betting rugby or soccer down in Australia. You got game day parlays, long shot winners. MyBookie's got you covered. Use pregame props or bet the game live to shift the odds in your favor and always come out on top. Not only does MyBookie host exclusive sports betting contests you can't find with any other book, but the bonuses are insane. So if you sign up today with MyBookie.ag and use promo code Woodward, yes, that's promo code Woodward, you'll receive up to $1,000 in bonus money. When you make your first deposit, that's $1,000 in extra cash when you make your first deposit with MyBookie.ag using the promo code Woodward. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back to Big D Energy, our debut show here on Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, Darren McCary, and we got some good discussion going right now. But Corey's in the house, our Lions insider. He spends pretty much all of his life at Lions training camp right now. There are some moves that have been made, Corey. So break it down for me.
Just like less than 10 minutes ago, the Detroit Lions announced that they've signed free agent running back Craig Reynolds, and they've released cornerback Quentin Dunbar. This guy Dunbar, he's been noticeably absent at camp for about a week and a half. Coach Campbell said that he was dealing with a personal issue, and the team was, had their thoughts and their prayers with him and their support behind them. But now he's gone, and they brought in Craig Reynolds.
Come on, Craig.
Craig's. This is like his fourth team in. This is like his fourth team in 2 seasons in his 2 years in the NFL.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
What
does that mean?
That his fourth team?
Yeah. What does that mean?
I'm just saying. The Lions were his fourth team in 2 years.
Because I was on 4 teams in 1 year. So.
Oh. Hey. Yeah. But he's not Joique Bell though.
Huh?
He's not Joique Bell though.
I'm not Craig Reynolds.
Exactly. But he's gonna obviously come in and help out the Lions. They've little bit thin right now, the running back. DeAndre Swift, he's dealing with some groin issues. Jamar Jefferson had a high ankle sprain and an ankle sprain on Monday's indoor practice.
And so this is a conversation they had before they released them.
Yeah.
Listen, guy, we love what you're doing. The door's not closed. What we have, it's a numbers game. Handing your playbook, but we're going to be in contact, stay in shape, because we might be bringing you back during the season.
Keep that phone charged.
Keep it charged. We might be bringing you back and put you on practice squad, so stay ready. All right, stay ready. But we have to make these moves because it's the numbers games. We have some injuries now, and we need a roster spot. And right now, you're not contributing. It's hard, but listen, I respect you. Stay ready. This is the conversation they had before they released him. They're going to bring him in, and I just hope he's coming in and – we used to call it campfire, right? When you bring guys in to kind of take the load off the guys that's going to make the roster. And I hope that isn't the case with Craig. I hope he gets a shot. And with people that go down, I can speak from experience. I remember my second year in the league, I went down with an MCL sprain the first week. I set out. I knew that I was not going to make the team if I did not play. They had Pierre Thomas, they had Darren Sproles, they had Mark Ingram, and they had Chris Ivory. And I said, "There's no way."
You walked into some situations in your career, bro.
Yeah, and so I tore my MCL the very first preseason game. They were projecting me to be out 6 to 8 weeks. I sat out 1 week, came back, led the team in rushing and receiving, and they called me to the coach's office, told me to bring my playbook. Sat down in his office. He told me, "Listen, you played so good, you made us keep you. We didn't want to go into the season with 5 running backs. This is going to be a situation for him to where when I went down, I had to sit out the first 2 weeks of the season. They brought in another guy to take my place on practice squad while I was healing, and he was really good. And the coach told me, listen, Joique, we brought a guy in off the street, and the guy looked really good, and I could have lost my spot. Now we bring in this guy, Craig Reynolds. He come in, and he plays really good. You never know.
Somebody could get squeezed.
Somebody can get squeezed. But that's the nature of this business that we don't really want to talk about. We only want to talk about, the aftermath, a guy who went through the ringer and then made it out. But these are the opportunities you get when a guy like DeAndre Swift goes down with a pulled groin. All right, you got to be available.
Absolutely. And then
what have you done for me lately?
Well, what have you done for me lately? That's exactly what have you done for me lately.
Yeah, and then also too, they signed Nikhil Roby-Coleman a couple of days ago, who he has familiarity with pretty much I won't say everybody, but a lot of people on that coaching staff. He was a couple of years in Buffalo when Anthony Lynn was there. Obviously, Anthony Lynn is the offensive coordinator, but still a couple of years there with them. 3 years with the Rams under Aubrey Pleasant, Brad Holmes, Michael Brockers, and then last year he played on the Eagles, and Deuce Staley was the assistant head coach there. So they brought him in, and they filled that gap with Dunbar.
I want you to understand this, that's natural, right?
Yeah.
That's normal in this league. If you look at different GMs who come in, they're going to bet on the guys that they know.
Yeah.
Like when Bob Quinn came here, I was let go, and then they brought in LeGarrette Blount. LeGarrette Blount was with the Patriots. That's where Bob Quinn came from. So they're going to bring in guys that they know. All right, and so that's not unfamiliar. So,
no, that happens in life. Like that happens in the business world across all the fronts, man. You roll with the network, people in your network.
In your network. These are the guys that I trust. Well, and like we talked about it, when they put guys in the battle, they're going to fight harder for the people that they know and have respect for. So
that's just the way of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And we got somebody named Craig. And that's borrow your VCR right quick.
And that's why. And this is for young players. This is why I always tell young players. You never know, if you're going to work with these guys again. More than likely you will. I remember I played in Buffalo, and I had Curtis Mockins. I had him on the show here before. He was my rookie coach. I left with the 3 other teams. Came to Detroit with Sam Gass, who was our running back coach. And then when Sam Gass left, when they released that coaching staff, Curtis Mockins became our running back coach here in Detroit for the next 3 years. So I already have familiarity. I was already very familiar with Coach Mockins, and so when he came in, it was like that mutual respect. Like he knew what type of work I would put in, and I knew what type of coach he was and what he demanded. And so when you have that understanding, you have that relationship with these coaches, they're going to speak highly of you to the GM, to the other coaches, and that's only going to heighten your chances to come work for another franchise or another team.
Hey, Corey, you got any other nuggets out there today? Where can everybody follow along with what you're doing?
Follow me on Twitter, Corey E. Woods, KORYEWOODS.
Corey with a K, though.
Yep.
Don't forget it. Corey with a K.
Yeah, I just posted a new article on WoodwardSports.com right now. The things that I'm going to be looking at for tomorrow's preseason game versus the Buffalo Bills. Want to, got some guys that you know.
Yeah.
And, about to go ahead and get this Dunbar story up now, I guess.
Yeah. All right, man. We working Corey here. We working him. I like it, man. Corey, one of the hardest workers here, if not the hardest worker here.
Trying to be.
Well, he's out there. He's out in the streets, man.
You know what, man? He out in the streets, though, for real.
Yeah,
for real.
And that's why I like it. That's why I mess with Corey, man. Yeah. Real talk.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it.
Now let me get out of Terry's seat.
Go ahead. All right, Corey. All effort.
All effort. No, but it is a good segue to what we wanted to talk about next. Dan Campbell certainly has made a lot of headlines just without a game being played. They're still 0-0, getting ready for the first preseason game and all that kind of stuff. And as you guys look at it, and look, it's easy to come on in front of the camera and talk about your Starbucks order, and everyone laughs about it and stuff like that. And that's cool, and that's entertaining, and that's fun. That's what gets you through a training camp. Mm-hmm. But it's easy to laugh when you're 0-0. Things are different when you're 1-4. If you're 1-5, that's all different. As you guys see it right now, is this the guy for the Detroit Lions? I like the attitude. I like where he's at. I like when he came out in his press conference and he put it on himself. He's like, you guys, A, you're tired of this shit. Those were his words. And then B, he said, I got to win football games. And you never hear coaches say, that's what I liked. And Terry, you've covered a million of these press conferences. Like, you never hear a coach in particular, come out and put a quote-unquote number to it to say, I have to come here and win football games or I'm done. I like that he did that. It seems as though there's some accountability with him.
Right. The thing is, if you come in as a coach and put a number on it, guess who's going to hang you with that number?
The media.
The media. Yeah, that's
we're
exactly.
Gonna hang
you said you're going to win 9 games, and you didn't. Get out of here.
So he said he win 9 games and win 12, then what?
Hey, then you the man.
Yeah.
There's nothing for us to say. But normally, if you put a number on it, then we're looking at that number. Okay, is he going to get it? Is he not? Looks like he's not going to get it, so we're going to trash all over this guy.
I'm a piggyback off of that. I remember when I was coming back off my Achilles injury, and it was the first off season that I was able to train, and so they asked me, how many yards do you think you're going to get this year? I said, I'll come back in healthy. I mean, I want to, I'm going to be the man this year. I'm going to be the starter, so I want to, put a lot of pressure on myself. So I want to go for 1,200, right? But that's if I'm healthy, if I'm healthy enough. And the media said, Joique Bell says he's going to get 1,200 yards in the media. I said, that's not what I said, but you know what? It's out there now. So I'll never forget that. And that's when I realized you really have to watch what you say, because they'll take what you say and put a spin on it.
D-Mac, what about the parallels in the hockey world? A new coach comes in. I don't want to say Dan Campbell's brash, because I just think he's honest. And you ask him a question, he'll answer it. Do you guys respect that in a locker room? Do you respect that when a guy's going to stand there in front of the camera and say, look, I have to win games or I'm gone?
There's 3 things: attitude, accountability, and transparency. Now, some people are more transparent than others, but when you're building culture, and the one thing is this guy is true to himself. He's not anything that he ever was. The one thing about coaches in the past, especially Patricia, it was just be you, not to somebody you think that you should be or whatever, coming in with the Patriot way. So Dan Campbell, I think the beauty of it is that he's had a taste. He's got his toe in the water in Miami. He knows what he did right and he did wrong. And it's about going out and playing and doing the little things. When you're developing the culture, it's about the foundation. So, like wins and losses to me this year for the Lions, I mean, I was just talking with Isaac Eats and stuff. I don't really care, like the fact that if they lose or whatever, because I'm looking for the things that hasn't been here, like smarts, like no false start penalties, no shooting ourselves in the foot, just being competitive. And at the end of the day, if we play 60 minutes, we'll figure out where the talent level is. And hopefully with all these ex-coaches and guys that have been there and through the ringer, that's the one thing, is that hopefully that it all works out. But I love the transparency. It's something that's refreshing, so it gets you something you can get behind.
On the YouTube live stream right now, got the comments going on there. Joey 2 times says, "We don't deserve you, D-Mac."
This is, that's an understatement.
Ryan says Neal's hair looks much improved, and I will say it's not quite as humid today. I'm trying to get the you see it right there.
Is the air not on?
Yeah.
Turn the air on. Turn the air on in here. Yes, turn the air on.
I am having a little bit better hair day, I guess, than I did yesterday.
Is my mic on? No air. Suffer. If I gotta suffer, y'all gotta suffer.
We don't.
Joique, the only way the air gets turned on is if the girls in front are suffering. So you might
No. You know what? I don't know if you know this, D-Mac, but we have the air on every show.
Well, I don't know if you know. I don't know if you know this, but this is a new show, and there was some sort of talk in the back. I'm just saying, all you got to do is tell the girls that it's too hot in the front, and they'll change it. So that was Art's big play to you here, Joique. This is his power play.
We can't do any air. I'm suffering. You got to suffer. Sorry.
No, we're doing air.
We do have T Villa on the line. If we could take a break and get to your guest.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. Let's do that. We'll be right back.
Turn the air on.
You're watching Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Welcome back. Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, Darren McCary with you. And we're going to welcome in our first guest here on Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. He's a guy making some waves in the local Detroit rap scene. He's got a new single coming out. Cocky is the name of the new single. T Villa is in the house. He makes some banging videos, by the way, too. I love his Jersey game. T Villa, he represents strong in the YouTube videos. T Villa, what's going on, man?
Oh, yeah, chilling. Y'all can hear me good?
Yeah, we got you good.
All right, bet I had to call off a whole different phone to make sure that the Wi-Fi was good.
That was all good. So it's funny. So I met T Villa actually at the Pistons game. So he was good friends. So he grew up with one of my good friends, and I happened to have. He came up to the suite and kicked it with us for a minute, and I don't have that picture, but no. And then we locked in from that day on, man. Just a solid guy, and I've been kind of watching from afar, watching his music, watching his moves he's been making, man. Like I'm happy to see you hitting all your strides, everything you want to do, man. I'm happy for you.
I appreciate it. Yeah, like I say, we locked in. It was love. You know what I'm saying? Right place, right time. The Pistons showed some love, man, and it's amazing that you know, just growing up, coming from the city, that they reached out to me to honor me like that, man. It was something big for me.
T Villa, our guest here. You can follow him. As we said, we had the Twitter handle up there on the screen, on the gram as well. Go to YouTube, too. T Villa's YouTube channel. You can check out some of those videos. What goes into the jersey decision, T Villa? When you're doing these videos, I saw you were repping with the Jalen Rose throwback Michigan jersey. You had the '84 Tigers jersey as well. Take me through constructing kind of a music video and wanting to capture Detroit.
It's just repping for my city. Just repping for my city. You know, I get custom jerseys made. That's you know, that got my name on it. Show the 313, or just get something that I see that just represent the city. Say Detroit, the Pistons. You know, like anything from my city, man. Like I say, Detroit made me who I am. That's a big part of who I am. I took a lot of the strong points from the city and did it and made sure I just move. You know, not only like with my career, but just life. Like, you know, you can make it in Detroit. I feel like you can make it anywhere.
My question to you, talking to T Villa, obviously being from the D with all the excitement, because it's been a little bit dismal to get motivated by anything in Detroit sports teams, but you got the Pistons hat on, obviously the love they showed you. What's it going to mean for them that they got Cade Cunningham? And the fact that how excited are you for this basketball team, and what do you see happening?
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely excited. You know, we got the #1 pick. That brings just a lot of more attention to, our city, what's going on. Cade, he definitely a good player. I think we got some solid to build off of a good young talent. We got a good young team, so I'm definitely gonna be tuned in. I'm definitely gonna be at a couple games and seeing what's going on and seeing the progress and how he go through the season.
Yeah, for sure. So it's funny. So I looked at Cade when he initially got drafted. We talked about it on the show about how he's kind of embracing that Detroit culture. And so honestly, I thought when you came on the show you were gonna have your buff song. I thought you were gonna have your buff song. You know, so
I ain't wearing the buffs. I've been getting a little advice from some PRs and people. They like, man, you need to let people see your face. You know what I'm saying? Like the glasses cover it up. So I might just have to get like some lighter lenses or something in there.
Yeah, get some lighter lenses.
Detroit hold it down with the Cartiers.
Yeah, that's for sure our staple, man. That's for sure our staple.
T Villa joining us here on Big D Energy. So T, kind of break down your rap style. Some of your influences, things like that. Let everybody know, man. What sound are you following?
It's really me just kind of well, I ain't gonna say kind of, but it's me creating the sound. I think I'm past that point where you have like your influences and then you try to emulate what they doing or emulate their sound or something like that. Like I'm way past that stage. My influences like like Tupac, Biggie, DMX. I listen to the early T.I. a lot, Lil Wayne. I just like good music. It's not like something that was like, okay, I like how this sound to do this, or to be all the good music that I heard like inspired me to want to go that same line.
What was the toughest part for you during like COVID and not being able to go out and perform and stuff like that? So is it like something that you were able to hone in a different skill, pay more attention to a different part of your craft because you weren't going to be out there in front of people to now? Like what did, was there a blessing that all the downtime gave you as an artist?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's just you get a chance to sit. I got a chance and basically just zone in on my strengths, weaknesses. Get better, study my. I like to read a lot. I just sat down, did that. I just sharpened in COVID pandemic, you got a chance to sit down and basically like life to keep you going. So that was just that allowed me to sit down and take a more in-depth look at everything that was going on.
For sure. So before we let you go, I want to ask you one last thing. Like, what do you have coming up? What can we look forward to? What can your fans look forward to? I know you have a clothing line coming out. I see you're getting pushed by BET Jams. You have a lot of things coming up. So give us a rundown of everything you have coming up in the near future and how can people support you and what you're doing.
First, I'd say that the main thing, and first and foremost, in case I forget anything, is to follow me on Instagram, T Villa Official, on the clothing line website, tvillascorner.com. My stay focused is take wrist shirts, so I got to go on the other side of the camera. Yeah, to take risks. I got coming up. I got a show in Atlanta on September 4th at a celebrity basketball game. So if you're in Atlanta or Georgia, I'll be in the city this weekend. In Detroit, I got a pop-up shop for my clothing line. I got another interview on a podcast to do. Just shows. I got a movie role coming up in Woodward. So I've been taking some acting classes and reading up on some acting books, getting ready for that. And it's just work. Most songs, I got songs recorded that I'm waiting to shoot videos for, release those. It's just work, but definitely I say stay tuned with me, T Villa Official. I'll let you know everything.
Well, T. Villa, certainly we appreciate your time. You know, we'll be following you. We'll be supporting you as well. Make sure you give him a follow, subscribe on YouTube as well. Keep up with those videos as well. Cocky's coming out, so make sure you follow along. Appreciate your time, brother.
Appreciate you, T. Villa, man.
I appreciate you.
Thanks for joining us.
Man, I appreciate, truly appreciate it. Real quick, go follow him on T Villa Official on IG, and also make sure you post everything you can about that pop-up. I want to come support. And real quick, before we slide out of here, have I told you about Northwestern Tech? Start a new career in an industry that is always essential, the heating and cooling industry. To learn more today, go to northwesterntech.edu. Joique Bell, Neal Ruhl, D-Mac, and this is Woodward Sports.
Would you like to win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time?
Then watch as we turn this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
Watch the Call Sam Chopper Shop on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/chopper shop.
All right, you hear me?
Welcome back.
No, because you don't do your job right, man. Every time I come in here.
Sports Network. That took about 39 minutes. So I know the Vegas over/under on Joique and Art getting into the mix, I think, was 32.5. So, you know, it was a bit of an upset that it took that long, but we are here now.
So I have to say I lost, but we had a guest, too.
Yeah.
So that sort of took the time away. But.
Yeah. But actually, we got into it earlier, too.
Oh, yeah. We'll get into it
you
all
told
day.
me, you said we had to hit the reset button. You remember?
Yeah, and it looked like you guys were going to do it until you didn't. And now, now it's back on.
Yeah.
Now it's back on.
Left, bro.
Art didn't think he was going to have kids until he did. Over and over and over and over.
Hey,
and
now
over
he just
and
looks
over.
at somebody sideways and somebody ovulates.
Oh, man. That's a tough spot to be in, though. Yeah. But as I said, Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, Darren McCary, Big D Energy, Terry Foster, Detroit sports legend in the house as well. I want to touch on this whole name, image, and likeness. And Joique and Terry, you and I talked about this earlier in the week. We saw De'Aaron King, the quarterback of the Miami Hurricanes. He signed a deal with the Florida Panthers hockey organization. The entire organization. He'll come out. He'll interact with the fans. I'm sure autographs will be signed, those types of things. It's a new day. And Terry, you've been around the game a long time. This is a new day. Do you think this is going to end well or end badly? Just in general.
End well. And finally, this is happening. Following collegiate sports, at the Division I level, you see these coaches making $7-8 million, and it's going up and up and up. And,
administrators are making $1 million. Athletic directors,
athletic directors. If you're a wrestler and you win a national title or you advance up the ranks, the athletic director gets a bonus. The wrestler gets nothing. I was sick and tired of this. Why can't a coach who's making $5 million maybe take $3 million and then they distribute it, around with the athletes? That was one of my solutions. But I like this from the standpoint that if you have something that you can provide for somebody, why shouldn't you get paid for it? Gymnasts do it. Olympic sports people do it. My daughter is not an athlete, but she did things that could provide for her school, and she got paid for it. And it wasn't at the grand scope of a football player or a basketball player, but she still got paid because she was able to produce that made her university better. So why can't an athlete deserve the same thing?
And that was always my take with it too, Terry. And I work in college athletics, do television, radio for the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. But with all that, being out there, I always thought that if it's the same for a student athlete, if the same for a general student, to where a general student can, if they're a great piano player, they can pick up and they can leave school and go play piano professionally. They're allowed to do that. I always had a big problem with the age limits on the draft. If you want to go make a living, any other general student can go make a living. And this is the same. I mean, if you're a popular YouTuber or an Instagram influencer and you're a general student, you could always profit from it. We see that with the esports teams. There's bass fishing teams now that the NCAA doesn't have oversight over. They've been competing for money for a very long time. So, I mean, when you look at it, they finally jumped in to today's day and age. And it's about time. It's about time. These guys produce millions. These gals produce millions for the NCAA. I don't even say the universities. For the NCAA, they do. Look at those TV contracts, man.
Yeah, but you know who blocked this? Old farts.
100%. Well,
like,
people that were profiting. People that were profiting the most.
I don't want to see these guys make money. I don't want to see these guys. You know, they should just be happy with the scholarship.
Right. Now, my question is this, though. All right. How many schools or how many big programs are these kids getting these opportunities? Like, you think a kid from Wayne State or a kid from Ashland or a kid from Western are going to get the same type of publicity and sponsors and endorsers as a kid who goes to Alabama? A kid
they may not make hundreds of thousands of dollars, but if you give a kid
$500 a month,
you can get something.
Better than I was before.
But you know, some of these universities are giving the kids allowances a month, $1,000 or $2,000 a month. Some of these schools are already doing that, right? And so I'm not against it at all. But I'm saying, what happens to the talent at these smaller schools?
Well, here's the bottom line. The old adage about your scholarship and you're going to school for free and we're educating you, so you should be happy and giving it back. Well, the fact is,
giving it back, and when you
no, but you should be accepted. I'm talking that.
No, I agree with you.
But you should just. That's it. But the fact is, right, that in this day and age, the fact that, like it was said, the coaches are making this much money. The university's making this much money. There's different rules for different sports. So now this puts it all over. Now, what I think it means is that, to your point, is that it doesn't matter if you're at Alabama, but if that Joique Bell that's at Wayne State working security, and I know that say I'm a business guy or just anybody else and say, hey, Joique, you know, maybe you can come into my store and I'll give you $1,000 for the month just to give you that opportunity. I do think that, for using you as an example with your career at Wayne State, it affords the opportunity, at least the conversation. There's no, so at least I think it helps out, whether it's a dinner, whether it's, you know, showing up here, making a couple bucks on the side, that I think it opens it up for every athlete.
No, it does. Now, my next question would be this, right? Because I understand how far I can stretch a dollar in college, right?
You told me the ramen stories.
Oh yeah. I can make it stretch, right? I can make $50 stretch for about a week and about two to 3 weeks. I can make $50 stretch.
I can't get out of the bar that night.
2 to 3 weeks, I can make that stretch. Now, my thing is this. Now you have a team full of guys, right? Who you might have a guy playing, 45 to 60 plays a game, and then you have a guy who might be playing 10 plays a game. Now, is it fair to give them the same distribution on the team, as far as these allowances that they're giving these kids already? And then when these kids are getting these allowances at the school, is that not a recruiting tool to get kids to come to your school?
Yes.
Because it is, because I know they're not doing allowances at the smaller schools because they can't afford it. They can't afford it.
Yeah, but that's where the beneficiary can come in and say, that's what my question, waiting to see, does it hurt and does this push us more towards the big four conferences or the big teams? But also too, it opens a conversation to anybody who's got a college town, and it's not about somebody who's going to make pro or whatever, but they want to throw some money at one of these athletes because they entertain them or to make their life easier.
Or if I'm in a small town, let's take Mount Pleasant or Kalamazoo, and I own the local pizza place.
Yeah.
And Joique Bell is playing football for CMU, which you should have done, by the way. And so I want to pay him for people to come buy my pizzas.
Absolutely.
Why can't I do that?
Are you a CMU fan?
That's my point, huh?
Are you a Central Michigan fan?
Yes, sir. I went to Central Michigan. I'm a Chippewa, brother.
It's funny. I got recruited by Bush Jones when he was there.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it was up in the air, but they just didn't recruit me hard enough. But we always kept in contact. I still keep in touch with him. For sure.
I thought you slipped under the cracks or something like that.
I did. Going into my senior year, our quarterback quit right before the season, and I had to go from running back to quarterback my last year. And my junior year, I had a high ankle sprain, so I didn't have too many games at running back, so I didn't really get noticed. But a little coach from Wayne State saw a few of my 4 out of 5 games at running back my senior year, and said, that guy's a running back, and brought me in. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue this discussion. I like this because I think that this is the most valuable education that student athletes will get. The free market concept. Get what you get. We'll talk about it more. This is Big D Energy right here on Woodward Sports Network.
D. Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. With historically low interest rates and 5-star service, you could pay your mortgage off faster without increasing your monthly payment. Get started now at 248-308-5000 or chat with us online. Call hallfirst.com.
Welcome back, Big D Energy. Brand new show right here on Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, Darren McCary, T. Foss, Detroit sports media legend, Terry Foster in the house as well. We got a good panel here today. It's been a good show so far. Talked to T. Villa, a local Detroit rapper doing his thing. Right now, though, we're talking name, image, and likeness, and the comments are flowing on the YouTube channel right now, Facebook Live as well. And Funky Lions fan says if they get paid, they should forfeit their scholarship. Then the scholarships can go to lesser athletes or non-athletes who aren't getting paid because of their ability to help them. And look, that sounds great. It does. In theory, that sounds great, but that's not reality.
It's not participation trophies.
No, it's not. It is a business. When you start talking about billion-dollar contracts, that's when it's a business, because that's what these TV contracts are.
It's funny how people want to take everything away from the athlete. Yeah. It's funny. It's mind-baffling. We're the ones out there risking our lives.
And Joique, look, man, in real life, when you went to Wayne State, you provided a service for them that no one else could.
Yeah.
You were a good football player.
Now, it's funny. People think you go to school, you work out, okay, and you go to class. They don't understand the hours you put in. You'll put in more hours. I'm not lying. You'll put in more hours being on the schedule in college than what you will in the NFL.
Absolutely. Right, because of all the extra obligations, the class stuff, and all that stuff.
You're up at 5:30. You're on the line, ready to do condition at 5:30. That goes to about 6:45. You have weight room at 7. That goes to about 7:45. You have to decide whether you want to grab some food, right, and then go to class, sweaty, stink. Or you go take a shower and you go to class hungry. You're in class from 8 to 8:30. Next class starts at 8:45. You're in there until 11:15. Another class at 11:45. Go to that class. Get out that class at 1:40. Go to the football facility because you have meetings at 2:15. Practice at 3:30. Leave there at 6. Have dinner. Study table 7:30. Study table goes to 9:30. You don't get all your work done, so you have to go to the library. You're in the library from 7:30 to 11:30, and you wake up, and guess what? You get to go to sleep and wake up and do it again the next day. But they want us to give away our scholarships, and I'm sorry. And then on the days you don't have that schedule, you go work. You go work 2 jobs, all right? You go work 2 jobs. But you know what? Take our money, take our scholarship, and just let us get paid. All right, because we're not putting in enough hours. I guess not.
Yeah, I don't understand. What's it to them? Why do they care about,
Because they care about
everything. Let's make sure that the
because we have it easy as athletes.
Oh, yeah, that's
right. Because we have it easy. That's why we have it easy as athletes. Oh, they don't have to do any work. I had to write every paper at Wayne State. Every paper.
You wrote your paper?
Who else is going to write it?
Hey, listen,
I thought you had a
what I'm
writer.
glad? I'm glad I played junior hockey. I swear to God. I'm glad I didn't. Dude, I would have never made it. But I'm just saying is that people, Joique, to the point is that people don't realize that everything that you put in, they think it's just running sprints and doing all that, but everything else to make you.
Everything that goes into it. And then that's not even including everything you did from minor league football all the way until high school, until you got to college. So you're getting paid from the work before. This just didn't happen overnight. You got to put the work in. What's up, Fish?
All right, I know how good college football, or I know how hard college athletes work, but...
You know how hard? Right, because you're a college athlete?
No, I'm not a college.
Okay, so how you know?
But...
So how you know? You don't know.
Well, I do know.
No, you think you know.
I do know. Okay, I know how hard college athletes work. It's kind of common sense how much time they work because they have to throw athletes into school or athletics into school while doing schoolwork, having big tournaments, big games while still doing school. But I don't think the college athletes should get paid. Or actually, I shouldn't say that. I should say that it is not going to. I hope I'm wrong, but I think it's going to be a fail.
Here we go.
And I say that because
go ahead.
College athletes, big quarterbacks, all they're going to do is they're not going to go to the school that they like. They're going to go for money. So whoever's offering the most money, they're going to go.
But students do that.
They're not going to choose the school based on talent. They're going to choose for money. I can go to Alabama for talent, or I could go to Michigan and get $2 million.
I got a point I want to prove.
I would have chose
because
Michigan.
Fish knows this. Everything you say up until the word "but" is what?
Is incorrect.
It's bullshit.
It's wrong. Oh, or that.
My grandmother always told me anything a person tells you up until the word "but" is bullshit.
And
bullshit.
After the "but" is the true opinion. Is how you feel.
After the "but" is the true opinion. Hey, listen.
I think
we need to be together anymore. It's me, but. You did some things. So everything I said before, but
no,
is bull.
I think they should get paid, but I think college sports is going to get ruined by this.
So you backtracking because you literally just said you don't think that college players should get paid. Now you think they should get paid?
No,
or you don't think they should get paid?
No, I think they should get paid.
All right,
but
I
think it's going to backfire, and you're going to see athletes go for the money versus the actual talent, and college football is going to go down.
Aren't you missing the point that college ain't their end goal? It's pro to get the big payday. So along the ways, it doesn't matter where they go. They're going to go the best that sets them apart. And if they are talented to be able to get the money back, you look at what the opportunities. You look at the Eric King, who you mentioned signed with Florida. Well, you look at the deal that the University of Miami team signed with the gym down there that pays every one of them. I think you're going to see more of. It's going to enable some of the top players at schools to maybe dictate a little bit of treatment, right? A little bit of treatment, like joint. If you wanted extra food, right? Like say you were hungry and stuff like this or whatever.
Oh my God! Don't get me on that.
Right. Like
no, let's never go there.
There's an issue, right?
No, it's a real issue, and it's even your teammates. So when you go to these smaller schools, not everyone has the same scholarship, obviously, right? And very rarely you'll see a D2 player with a full ride scholarship. Luckily for me, I was blessed. I had a pretty decent scholarship. But because when you go there for the first day of training camp, they give you a paper like similar to this, one page. They'll have everything. They have tuition. They'll have room and board. They'll have books. They'll have meal plan. They'll have all these things on here, and everything that they cover, they'll have it marked off. And I will look around to my teammates. Some teammates they'll have tuition, but they don't have room and board. They don't have meal plan. They don't have books. I look at another teammate. He might only have books. Another teammate, he just has room and board, but not tuition. So it's kind of it's weird. It's weird how I can look at my paper and see all my boxes checked off.
You just brought something up where everybody else, I think, thinks that if you get a scholarship, then they're all the same.
No,
but they're not.
They're not the same.
This works too as far as regular students go, because I had this, right? This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in sports broadcasting and do play-by-play and go to the NBA and do talk radio and do digital entertainment, all that stuff. That's what I wanted to do. Syracuse is like the big-time outlet for that. How do you know a Syracuse journalism graduate? They'll tell you, because they always do tell you. Those are the Syracuse dudes. But with that, look, I told you guys earlier, I've grown up in this area my whole life. My parents both worked in the car factories. There was no way on earth I was going to be able to afford to go to Syracuse. So I had to make the choice. I had to go to Oakland or I had to go to Eastern, because I lived in Macomb County. That's where I lived. Those were my only two choices. I couldn't afford to go away to school. It was a money-based decision, the exact same way. That's what I'm driving at. It's the same. It's the same for students. It's the same for student athletes. Money dictates it all. And for Joique, your football coach is making a lot of money, even at Wayne State. He's making a lot of money.
He's up there.
He's doing all right. There's some zeros at the end of that.
Not doing too bad.
No,
shout out to coach.
Yeah.
What up? What up?
Right. Greg Campy's making good money. Jim Boeheim's making good money. Coach K's making good money. It's a business. The second you're talking about $1 million salaries and those types of things, it's all a business from the top down. And that's never going to change. Joique's situation, look, it's kind of like the draft, like the NHL draft or the NFL NBA draft, it's kind of like a draft. It doesn't matter how you get in that system. Once you're in, Joique was behind the 8 ball a little bit versus Najee Harris or somebody like that at Alabama. But you ended up in the same place.
Ended up in the same place. But the thing is this, too. Guys who go to college to play football or to play another sport, and they might not have that I want to go to the next level. I want to go to the next level and play professional ball. That might not be their goal. Their goal might be to go to college, get on a team, build that camaraderie, network, and then go into the business or go to the business realm when they're done, become a doctor, become a lawyer. You don't know what they want to do. And so get as much money as you can because, like I said, every scholarship isn't the same. And so when you graduate, you can still have student debt. So if you say they can get money, then every student should have a full ride scholarship.
And don't forget,
not true.
The university is a business too. It's not charity hour out there. I mean, you look at some of these kids that graduate, these massive student loans that they'll owe. It's not a charity. That's a business too. I think we all need to remember that. College is not a charity. Sports is a business. These coaches have jobs. Everybody affiliated with it. It is a huge, huge business. I think people need to remember that.
I do. There's levels to this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still got it.
Absolutely. We're going to take a break.
Levels grand opening. Levels provisioning grand opening and car giveaway. It'll be a live broadcast all day at the opening event with Woodward Sports. Level in Center Line 23968 Sherwood Avenue in Center Line, Michigan. This upcoming Friday, next week Friday, August 20th. So next week Friday, August 20th, make sure you're there. We will all be there to help promote the grand opening and new delivery service. Go to enjoylevels.com for more information. There will be free food trucks, tons of giveaways, and your chance to win my dream car, the car that I want, that new Challenger.
Wait.
The morning.
That's not electric.
It's not electric, but that was a car I always wanted when I was in college. Okay. That was my college dream car. I told myself no matter what happens, I would get that car. So that's my dream car. The Morning Woodward Show, the Big D Energy Show, and the Bottom Line will all be there broadcasting live. Make sure you guys tap in and come try some of that Grizzly gas. Here we go. Woodward Sports, stay tuned.
You know why realtors love using Hall Financial as a lender? Because of our commitment to speed and service. We have nearly 4,000 5-star reviews already. Call today, 248-308-5000, or go to callhallfirst.com.
Morning, Art. Morning, D-Mac.
One more hour.
Another hour here of Big D Energy. The first edition of Big D Energy. Happy to have you with us. My name is Neal Ruhl. He's Joique Bell. He's D-Mac, Darren McCary. T. Foss in the building as well. And T, I know that we touched on it earlier in the week. But now that we've played the biggest NBA Summer League game in the history of the National Basketball Association, now we can all form our judgments. We have all the data we need. We have to project the careers of Cade Cunningham and Jalen Green right now based on what we saw in one Summer League game. So lay it down in stone, T. Nothing's ever going to change. This opinion that you give us right now will dictate your entire future. Cade Cunningham or Jalen Green, who should the pick have been?
All right, here I'm going to do a shameless plug. Go to woodwardsports.com. I wrote a blog about that called Me Versus We. And the thing I like about Cade Cunningham, he may not be the best player, but he's the best fit for the Detroit Pistons. When you look at the Pistons' history, how do they win championships? They win by teamwork. It was the bad boys. They had a mentality. The going-to-work Pistons had a mentality. Ben Wallace didn't score 40 or 50 points a game. He set the precedent for that team. We're going to play defense, and if you don't, you got to hear from me. So Cade Cunningham is following a pattern of the Pistons with teamwork's going to go. The Pistons have never had that stone cold killer small forward that scores 25 points a game and they win championships. Normally, it's teamwork. Normally, it's defense. It's that blue collar mentality, and I think that's what Troy Weaver was looking for in Cade Cunningham, and I think he's got it. And maybe you didn't have that in Jalen Green.
It breeds, to me, exactly what Terry said. You got the perfect all-around player that's bought in not only to the city, but also to the team and what the coach and the organization is trying to breed. If you're going to say right here, I'm putting money down that Jalen Green would win MVP before Cade Cunningham, right? But that's the individual versus the team. What are you trying to build here? So, I mean, to me, it's pretty simple. The first things that I was looking at in those games is most guys are offensively minded, right? Where it's easier to go harder when you're going to score than it is when you're coming back. Well, when you see guys that it's natural to go hard defensively as hard offensively, that's what you like to see. In the long run, like, absolutely, Terry nailed it.
And this is probably me taking the easy way out a little bit, but both things can be true. Like, Cade can be good and Jalen Green can be good. And I think we've seen with Jalen Green a guy who has the ability to put the ball in the basket. And that is something, Terry, and you brought that up. I mean, this Pistons team, when was the last cold score they had? Stackhouse?
Yeah, Jerry Stackhouse.
Jerry Stackhouse was the last stone cold.
That was his job. Jerry just wanted to score.
Right.
And Jerry, sometimes before games, I would talk to him. He said, "I'm gonna light your boy up tonight." This guy can't check me. I'm getting 25 tonight. So he was thinking about himself. He knew when he had a poor defender, and he said, "This guy can't stop me. I'm gonna go off tonight." That was his mentality.
And it worked with Stackhouse from the respect of they went from the bottom. The teal uniform era was probably the bottom. Stackhouse came on the scene and brought them back to a point, right? Knocked on the door of 50 wins. They would make the playoffs and those types of things. They weren't challenging for championships. But that mentality, his talent, what he was able to do, took them to a level. There's levels to this. There's levels to this. But that took them to a certain level. So, again, the Houston Rockets right now, I think a guy like Jalen Green makes sense for them where they are. You have John Wall with $47 million on the books last year. He's gassed. Like, that's apparent. That era's done. They are rebuilding from the ground up. And Joique did bring up a good point, I think, when he said, hey, they had James Harden before. They had a pure score, but they were at a level at that time. The Cade Cunningham pick makes sense for the Pistons organization because of where they are. As you said, you need a quarterback on the floor. And my biggest thing with Cade is he's the closest thing I've seen to Isaiah Thomas since Isaiah Thomas because he can will a team. I like the early returns. He seems like he's willing that team in Summer League right now. But with all that being said, Jalen Green fits with what the Rockets need, and Cade Cunningham fits with what the Pistons need. Both things can be true.
Yeah, when we look at the draft and it was a toss-up between Cade Cunningham and Jalen Green in a lot of people's eyes. You couldn't go wrong with either pick, but I think as a GM, with your philosophy, with your formula on how you do certain things, because when you're dealing with people, you don't have a set formula, right? It's so many variables when you deal with people. But when you look at these players, you see the type of talent that they had at the college level and the type of player you can see in the future with a little molding. I think Cade Cunningham will be more so grasping the idea of how things are done in the NBA as far as pulling a team together, having that leadership, being able to be on the floor to take that, to take feedback, to give feedback. And I use feedback instead of criticism because when you use criticism, people's defense mechanism comes up. So when you just give feedback, he's able to give it, he's able to take it, and I think that's what you need when you want to grow as a player, especially a young player.
And people have to keep in mind, too, as far as the whole Cade, Jalen phenomenon, because this is going to be multiple. Like, this is going to go on for a while because it's been a minute since you had this kind of dynamic where the number 1 pick and the number 2 pick, their careers will kind of form together, and they'll always be looked at and compared to each other. The Jalen Green supporters do have to remember, too, because a lot of people, we boil this down by stats. We're a very stats-based society because of fantasy sports and all those types of things. But with that, Cade's going to play different positions at different times with different roles. And Terry, I think people need to remember that, too, that there's going to be times where Cade's a floor spacer. and he's working with a point guard, and how will him and Killian Hayes fit in together? And don't forget, too, Jeremy Grant's a dude. The early returns are he's a dude. Like, he can go get you 20. Jeremy Grant seems to be like the old Adrian Dantley mode, where he can go get you buckets from time to time. And that really looks like that's what's going to be Jeremy Grant's role. Remember, Jeremy Grant's obviously not in the Summer League right now, so we'll see some versatility to Cade Cunningham's game, to where Jalen Green is see bucket, get bucket.
Right, and I think we're having dangerous conversation in this town where some people are saying, well, you got Cade Cunningham, you got to get rid of Killian Hayes. But in today's NBA, you need multiple ball handlers. Even back in the day, you had 2 or 3 guys on the team that could play point guard. During the Bad Boys Pistons, we all remember Isaiah Thomas was the point guard. But at times, Joe Dumars took over that role, and Isaiah was running off screens. Vinnie Johnson took over that role, and sometimes Dumars and Isaiah were rolling off screens. So, but today's NBA is a lot different. You need multiple ball handlers. I would not give up on Killian Hayes. They can both coexist on the same team and on the court at the same time.
Well, isn't it about just continuity? And because really there's not the 5 positions. I mean, the only one obviously would be the center, because he's usually the size guy or the limited guy.
But even
whatever.
those guys are 6'9" now. They're
and
small
in
fives.
and out, right? And you see the set. You look at Giannis bringing the ball up the court. You know, like different things. So I think it's just more of, it's not like, oh, you're a small forward, you're a point guard. I think they're all more hybrid now. What's needed at which time?
No, that's true. They call Giannis a big man. I don't consider him a big man because of the way he plays. Yes, he's big.
Right.
He a big man.
But,
and
but a big man
he's
is
a long
not necessarily a big man. Because he plays on the perimeter, he does a lot of things.
Look at the game.
He's
look at
not
the
a
game now.
Like
DeAndre,
look at the game
right?
now, though.
Big man downtown. Where this is
a big man. I mean, the game is transformed, right? I mean, you look at the era when it was, you had Shaq, you had Tim Duncan. Like, those were big men. You have Giannis, who can run the court, he can run the floor. He's not a shooter, but he's going to be aggressive, getting to, like, he can take one step from the free throw or from the 3-point line and be at the rim. Like, this is the type of guy who, he's a big man, but he's that new hybrid big man. He's not the old school big man.
It's positionless now.
Yeah, because my old school big man had a fat ass, posted up,
I don't think you
was mean,
say that,
and could block shots. Now it's different now.
No.
Rick Mahorn comes to mind. You did
fat ass.
They're like big,
right?
Taking space.
Joique say Rick Mahorn didn't have a fat ass, and I'm gonna fight you, man.
Call the guys fat asses.
Dude, did
guys
Rick
on the
Mahorn
show
have
honey
a fat
bun.
ass? Yes or no?
Calling guys on the show
Dude,
honey bun.
yes or no?
Terry,
I don't got nothing against
some
you.
people
We
don't
gotta
like
go to break. It's 12:12. We gotta go to
He
break.
just talked to himself.
We gotta go to break.
Hey, but did you guys know that I still got the machete? And you know what? Since 1919, yes. coastportland.com. Go check it out. WSN 20% off. Yes, you got lights, lamps, do-it-yourselfers, first time or first responders, whatever else. I know that the best part, and here for all my hookers out there that used to be, now that the hook's gone, we got Big D Energy, and I am still giving away gift certificates. So tomorrow's Friday. #HowWeCoast. Now, pay attention. Anywhere that you social media, Woodward Sports Network, put in the #HowWeCoast and tell me how you might need the machete, because there's been a lot of rain and the weeds are getting big. You might need one. I know my boy Kevin Lang has one, or maybe a headlamp like Tammy to find the Petoskey spoons. Either or, go to coastportland.com, use WSN20 if you can't wait, or #HowWeCoast, and I will be giving away a free gift certificate tomorrow.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back to Big D Energy, brand new show here on Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. He is Joique Bell. He is Darren McCary. T-Foss in the building as well. Detroit sports media icon Terry Foster. We'll be here all the time, 11 to 1, Monday through Friday. Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app. Subscribe on YouTube as well, and you can go back, watch it whenever you want. We bring it to you. We'll just say it like that. We're on your terms. So if 11 to 1 doesn't work for you, you can always go back and catch up with what you missed. We certainly do appreciate you. All the interaction on social media has been great. You guys are balling out, man. There's no question about that. Restore the Roar wrapping up that whole Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green discussion. Says they both look great. Cade's a complete player and a floor general. Jalen is a bucket with insane athleticism. And yeah, Restore the Roar is with me. I mean, that's both things can be true. But another thing that's true, Miguel Cabrera hit number 499 last night. He's knocking on the door of one of the most elite clubs in sports. We'll be on Miggy Watch certainly here going forward as he's on the precipice of number 500. And, you know, guys, for me, I'm glad to see this. I'm glad to see Miggy getting these accolades because he had a slow start to the season. He was taking a lot of heat from the fans, and I think he gets unfairly criticized because of his contract, which I know is blasphemy to say when the cat's making $30+ million a year, but that was the market at the time. I mean, I'm never going to blame anyone for taking the bag. You know, I'll take the bag too. But with all that, you know, being out there, T-Foss, I mean, this is a storyline. Are you surprised by how people have been captivated by this, certainly over the last couple days?
No, because in baseball, people love numbers.
Yep.
500, 3,000. Numbers aren't as important in other sports as they are in baseball. Yes, when Barry was approaching 2,000 yards rushing, yes, people got excited, but not like this because it's baseball. And the other thing that you brought up about the criticism of Miguel's contract, yes, he's making too much money for what he's providing now. But you guess what? If you don't pay him, you may not get the 2006 Miguel Cabrera. You may not get the Triple Crown Miguel Cabrera. You had to pay him, or you may just say, okay, I'm up and out of here.
And that's the way it works. Again, business decisions. And that was a going rate. Albert, if you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at Albert Pujols or A-Rod, because they're the dudes that really enabled all this to go. But D-Mac, you've been here through this whole Miguel Cabrera run. I mean, he is... People ask, is he a first ballot Hall of Famer? Yeah, there's no question about that. He's the greatest right-handed hitter of my generation. I'll go a step further, D-Mac, and this could be blasphemy to you. Miguel Cabrera has a case to be the best athlete in Detroit sports history.
Blasphemy, no championships. You know, you can't do right. Like, if we're gonna say pure talent, absolutely. But again, when you're saying pure talent, there's him. There's Barry Sanders.
Yeah, but
there's Sergei Fedorov. Yeah. Right? Like, if you're talking pure talent, like, you're putting it up there. So, arguably, he could be, but then when you bring it back, I think it goes to championships. To Terry's point, the numbers. And what is he going to be, 27th guy to 500 home runs? But the 503... What's that?
Yeah, he'll be 27.
Yeah. But the 500, 3,000 is the number because he'll only be the 6th. You know, so something like that. But what you've seen over time and in baseball, it's the whole product, right? So like Terry said, where the numbers really matter because it's the minute-to-minute sport. It's the old history, you know, the Babe Ruth. We still talk about Babe Ruth. It's like we talk about the historians in baseball more than any other sport with what their numbers are and comparable.
Yeah,
right?
my bad. He'll be 28.
28? Okay. 28. But you know, the one thing that I wanted to see is
I don't want to interrupt D-Mac. He's making a great point. That's why I raised my hand. I've learned, Joy. Continue, D-Mac. I'm sorry about that.
No, just the engaged. He's engaged. You know, like an engaged Miguel Cabrera. And what do I mean by engaged? He's not thinking about the home runs. He hitting them when he can, but watching him play is like last night. He's taking it to right field for
that
the guy on third,
the other way,
which he says, you know, you give him a guy on third with less than 2 outs, and it's almost like a gimme. Right, so that's just. But to your point, Neal, the way that he covers all fields, the way that his power alley is actually right center. You know, yes, to all the times, and he's had some. You know, Miggy's a chronic slow starter, so I think it's something that everybody in this town appreciates what he's done. And to Terry's point is that he's really the only big star to be able to latch onto that is sort of across the country that to say, well, Detroit's sport team sucks, but they got Miguel Cabrera.
But, we always find to have these type of athletes, though, from the Barry Sanders to
Steve Yzerman, Miguel Cabrera. Yeah.
But, they were winning, though. No, they were winning. They had good teams. Like the Red Wings, they had good teams. Who else? We'll have Calvin Johnson, and then we'll have Miggy. And so we have these guys that, we can latch on to. But it seemed like those teams haven't brought us a championship. Now, the only team that probably brought us a championship is Steve Yzerman. All right. And so when you sit back and look at it, do I think Miggy would be the best athlete in Detroit history? Gosh, that's
numbers.
I'm going to say no.
It's tough because I wanted to give the Barry, but one thing that Miggy has is longevity. But I will compare 10 years in the NFL and that time and that era.
Yeah, that's fair.
About 20 plus years in any other sport, as far as the beating and the abuse.
I disagree. Our sport back in that day too. You got beat. Are you kidding me? Like you?
No. I'm talking.
No, but you're saying Barry's when he played. But I'm saying when we played and we won championships, even though the team it was war. It wasn't easy. There wasn't like it is the game.
I'm not gonna take
today.
it away, and I'm definitely not gonna take that away from you. But the way that the game was then to what it is now, with them having to go into. I think they used to have to go in like in March for like the off-season workouts, and they stay there from March all the way until the season.
Yeah, at the end of October.
Right, and they'll have pads on throughout that, and the live practices, and then you go into the games where it's like, you go across that middle, and that might be your last time crossing the middle. People breaking necks, breaking backs, like every day, and the injury rate in the NFL is 100%. I don't know.
I got a question. What are the chances? I mean, the last time
we had another issue of would you play Miguel Cabrera tonight? Because Detroit fans want to see that 500th home run hit at Comerica Park, and the Tigers have decided not to play him tonight, which I don't know if that's a smart move, because I don't like changing things with teams just to save something for fans. I think you should go and just play your normal sport the way you normally would. But the Tigers have made the decision not to play Miguel Cabrera tonight. So maybe we get to see 500 at Comerica Park because that's what the fans want to see.
You do see that, though. I mean,
absolutely. When you're not in a pennant race or even fighting for anything that doesn't matter, and it's one game, not like 2, 3, 4, whatever you're going to sit them out. Oh, yeah, you rest them. Because it's not – it could be a rest day, right? The way A.J. Hinch has used them all along. So let's just say this is his rest day, not the fact he's got $4.99. He's going to come home and hit it.
I agree with that, Darren. But if they were playing for like one of the top teams, no, you can't sit them. You can't sit them. But if it's like a game that doesn't really mean too much, then sit them down, let them come back and do it home. It can be something special that not only the fans but him and his family can sit back and say.
If you're one game out of the wild card, then you probably playing tonight.
Yeah.
And here's the question I asked you: did A.J. Hinch ask Miguel Cabrera? Do you think? What do you did like to me? I think there's this conversation. Hey, Miggy, because AJ's sort of said that. I think it's one of these things that if we hear about it, Miggy said, you know what, I'll take the night off and then be fresh to whatever, because he's played in these last games. He's been out there. So I would wonder, did they have this conversation? That'd be the first
They probably did, because A.J. Hinch said before the road trip, Miguel Cabrera was going to play 4 of the 6 games. So I don't know how many he's played. Maybe this.
And they have the mid-afternoon game after the night game. So, yeah. Art, what'd you have?
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's aware of the last time that Comerica was sold out. But obviously they're resting him tonight.
2013 outdoor winter game when we played Toronto.
So my question is, what are the chances that this weekend Comerica is going to be insane? I mean, absolutely insane. And I think every Detroiter should make it a point to try and go to that game because history will be made.
Yeah, you know what? Due to the circumstances that we're going through as a country, I don't know if it'll be sold out, but I do know that if it's not sold out, that's the reason.
I think
not because we don't want to support
them. But there'll be eyes on it.
But there'll be eyes on it.
I'm one of these last night. He's batting in the 9th inning, and I'm hoping he doesn't hit one, but I'm watching to see in case he does. Whoops. push-ups. Right?
Throwing stuff on the ground.
Look at that. You know you don't play running back.
He's hyped.
That's it. I'm more of a fullback, bro. I don't need to touch the ball. I just want to block for you.
I hear you.
No, but it is certainly. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. It's going to be a huge moment. Just on a side note too, for guys like Dan Dickerson and Matt Shepard, like you guys don't think about this. It's a pressure cooker, man. We at Oakland, we had Travis Bader. He broke J.J. Redick's all-time record for three-pointers in college basketball. I thought about that the whole day leading up to the game because it's a pressure cooker because whatever you say is going to be documented forever, and you can't screw it up.
So did you go with what you'd rehearsed, or did you go when it happened with something else?
No, I always let the moment dictate what I'm going to say. I mean, I have like a general idea. Like I have a little catchword that I do when he would make a shot, so I was going to incorporate that. No, okay. The of course thing. But yeah, so just
if you get it wrong, the public, so this guy sucks.
Yeah.
This is the biggest moment, and that's all he could come up with.
You could have done 1,000 games perfectly, but if you botch that moment, man, you get heat.
Art, here's a homework assignment. Which we go, right? We all know the best calls, right? Like the Al Michaels and the Miracle on Ice and out there. But what are the worst calls? What are the worst calls in sports on the biggest moment that a guy dropped the ball? I wonder. I'd be interested in checking that out. Maybe we can look into that.
How about Joe Buck calling
anything?
Lions touchdown. He's just so.
That's why Dan Miller's so great because even you would not know if you watched a game that if the Lions were in and what their record was because you love that. I love that as a Lions fan, and like impartial because Dan's a friend, but it's obviously the way he keeps you into the game, and when you score, you all feel it. I mean, I remember you knew Joique was getting the ball right and smash mouth at the goal line, and we're all hoping he gets in there to not hear Lions touchdown, but then he could do his little wave.
Boy, you guys, it's funny too. You guys bring up Joe Buck, and boom, the comments light up. We're gonna take a break. We'll come back with more Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome to the Call Sam Chopper Shop, where you can win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time.
Watch as the Bad Pig Custom team turns this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
And when it's finished, we'll be donating the bike to Volunteers of America Michigan to raffle off in support of our vets.
A great cause to give back to those who've given so much.
Watch for Call Sam Chopper Shop episodes on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/chopper shop.
Welcome back. Big D Energy right here, the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. He is Joique Bell. He is Darren McCary. He is T-Foss, Terry Foster in the house here. Happy to have you with us. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, however you're doing it, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, download the Woodward Sports app. We'll put it right on your phone. All you got to do is push a button, and you're right in there. And you'll get all the Big D energy you want right here, 11 to 1 every single day. We're it going forward. Very excited to be working with these guys. Very excited to be, as Jeezy would say, put on for the city, because that's what I'm doing. I got to do it for Art. Every episode, I gotta give him one reference just out of the blue.
So we used to do this thing called Slanging with Sean. So we come up with these bars, right? We come up with this. I guess a quick snippet of kind of a rap song, and you have to read through it, and you got to tell us what you think it means. I think we might want to keep that going.
I'll destroy that, Joique. Like, I'm deeper in the streets than you know.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Hey, listen, my man used to ride his bike around. He might not have lived downtown, but man, he knows his way around.
Yeah, he knows his way around.
He knows his way around.
Yeah. So people probably say, let's do it. But it'll still be fun though.
Yeah,
let's do
absolutely.
it. Let's get some lyrics. Let's get some. We'll figure out. Me and Art we'll sit down.
Come up with something.
I think the last one I heard you do was a Cardi B song or something, and listen to Sean or listen to Sean.
What was the last? I know he did one. He did WAP. I think he did one. He didn't know what WAP was. We called it. It was Wings and Pizza.
Yeah. Speaking of Wings and Pizza,
he didn't know about Fetty Wap.
No, not Fetty Wap. The song WAP.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay. Oh, you're laying down some Fetty on there.
Yeah. No. We could put some Fetty on there. We could. We're gonna take it old school. I'm gonna see how far back you.
Please do. Let's get that set up, man. I welcome that. I welcome that.
We'll keep it on Wednesdays.
Yeah,
for sure. We're gonna do that.
But look, it's that time of year, man. Football is in the air. I went and got my Phil Steele college football preview magazine. I'm excited to crack that open and get deep in the streets of college football. Michigan State football will take center stage around here. There's no question about it. T-Foss and I talked about it on Monday. The Spartan fans, the Wolverine fans, they're already chirping. And what makes me laugh about it, as a guy that doesn't have a horse in that race, both sides are looking up at Ohio State forever. And T-Foss, take me inside that dynamic, because you've done media in this town for a long time. Do they just choose to ignore Ohio State on both sides? Because look, if I'm a fan, if I'm a Spartan fan, I don't care about Michigan. I care about Ohio State. And if I'm a Michigan fan, I care about Ohio State because they have what I want. If I'm a Michigan State fan, I want that back. I had a taste of it. Even if I'm a Spartan fan, I had a taste. I want it back. Why do they sit there and chirp at each other all the time?
Because they live with each other. We don't have Ohio State people going up and down the street yelling at you. But Michigan and Michigan State fans could be in the same house. They can be in a relationship. So that's why we get that Michigan State thing, because it's in state. Ohio State, do you see a Buckeye? I live next to Buckeyes, and they just kind of
there are a few around.
There's a few, but you don't see them that often. But it's sort of like it's a huge rivalry. Now, I think what Michigan tried to do, they tried to ignore Michigan State, which was a huge mistake. And Michigan State said, okay, bring it on, fellas. We're going to kick your ass a couple years in a row, and you're going to have to pay attention to us. But they all pay attention to Ohio State. The problem is Ohio State is so far ahead of them, or so far above them, that you can't chirp about Ohio State all the time, how we're going to beat them, how we're better than you, because they know they're not. The nation knows you're not better than Ohio State. But every time Michigan and Michigan State step on the field, there is a chance that Michigan could win that game. There is a chance that Michigan State could win that game. So you're going to chirp. But when you step on the field with Ohio State, chances are you're going to not only lose but look bad in that loss. So that's why that difference exists.
Yeah, and real quick, just to get everybody caught up on social media, Jenna Newman on Facebook Live says, Neal, did Joique explain the WAP to you? No, I know. I know what it is. All right, I know about
he know.
You were talking about Sean, so I figured you were doing a little bit older school stuff. So that's why I thought you were talking about Fetty.
No. We were doing new school stuff.
All right, I know. Yes, I know.
Real quick, so I was having an argument with a person, right? I was having, and it wasn't an argument. It was a debate, and we were talking about the biggest rivalries in college sports, and we were talking about Michigan. And I said, what's the biggest rivalry you think in this area? And they said Michigan State. I said, you think Michigan State is, and no, it was Notre Dame in Michigan. I said, you think Notre Dame in Michigan is bigger than Michigan and Ohio State? They said, no, but I think Michigan State and Michigan is bigger than Ohio State. I said, how can you think that? And you're from here. How can you think that? Like, I know it's a huge rivalry here because like big brother, little brother, but no, it's Ohio State. It's not even close. All right? And they were talking about how a lot of people from Michigan don't like Notre Dame and how that was a big rivalry. Now, I would put Notre Dame and Michigan State rivalry versus Michigan State. Michigan State might be a little bit higher than Notre Dame, but they both big rivalries. But usually teams in your conference are going to be big rivalries, even though Notre Dame isn't in the Big Ten anymore. But still, that might still be a big rivalry.
But you have to understand, sometimes Michigan people are not going to mention Michigan State because they're beneath us. That's their mentality. So even though they know that might be, their number one or number two rival, they're not going to admit it. Michigan, Ohio State, despite what Ohio State has done the last few years, is still considered one of the top 5 rivalries in any sport in the nation. So because of Woody versus Bo and the 10-year war and the history of that rivalry. But sometimes a Michigan fan is not even going to admit that Michigan State is a rival because we're above them.
And right now, how close is Ohio State now to catching up to the all-time wins? Are they almost there, like 2 or 3 games away now?
I don't think it's quite that close. You got to remember all the wins that Michigan racked up before face masks.
but it was close though.
No, actually it wasn't. Maybe the percentage was close, but the actual wins was not, because Michigan started playing football way back in the day.
Yeah.
They
have tons of leather helmet wins.
I'm talking about what I'm saying wins is in the rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
That I'm talking about in the rivalry in just that game. And I'm not talking about overall wins. I'm talking about just wins in that rivalry game against Michigan, Ohio State. Ohio State is closing that gap.
I thought Ohio State was ahead.
I don't think they're ahead yet.
Yeah,
we'll have to check.
But with all that being said,
check that, Art.
As far as Michigan and Michigan State go right now, who's got their program in a better position? Is it Harbaugh? Is it Tucker? Who's got the program in a better position?
I'd 100% rather be playing for Michigan State and Mel Tucker with everything going on in Michigan. And you still don't know you're still waiting for Jim Harbaugh, but to me, it seems it's more of a shell of a man. I have to wait and see something that inspires his team, but to me, there's no arrogance, no cockiness, no Michigan, the way that is. I just think what Mel Tucker's building with the Spartans and stuff like that. Now, if you're going to ask me who I think's going to win more and more talented, well, it's Michigan. Their pedigree. But I think that what he's building, I like what Mel Tucker's doing more than what Jim Harbaugh, because he's still this far into it. You still don't know what's going on in Michigan.
What do you got, Fish?
Mike.
Yes. The all-time series, Michigan leads at 58, 51, and 6. But, cool.
But in this state, we always think Michigan is better than Michigan State. Do you know that Michigan State, has won more games recently against Michigan, and every one of those games, State was the underdog. Last year,
huge underdogs.
Yeah, State kicked their ass. They were huge underdogs. So when you do rankings, you always rank Michigan ahead of Michigan State, because I think that's just what we do. And we do a lot of rankings in colleges based on what happened 40, 50, 60, 70 years ago, and that mindset doesn't change. This year, Michigan will be the heavy favorite against Michigan State.
They will be, no doubt. What's up, Fish?
And if any Michigan fans want to rub it in, the largest victory was 86-0 to Michigan in 1902.
The great stories. I love that. That's always my favorite Michigan stories. In 1902, when the helmets were leather, before there were face masks, before games were even on radio.
Great.
Before there were blacks.
Before black people were allowed to play. Those are my favorites too. Right. Yeah, that's always my favorite.
And they didn't even have forward pass back then.
Before women could vote.
No, they beat some schools, something of the blind.
Yeah,
that's true.
It was a blind school.
Well, and they count all those, like when Michigan State was a true agricultural farming school.
Right.
Like they're like, remember all those big wins in the
30s.
Joique, that's something I would do in Call of Duty.
And the dude trying to tackle you can't see you. I can hear him coming. Don't know where he is. I'm going to try to tackle him anyway.
Joique, that sounds like Art Smith shit on Call of Duty. That's something he would pull.
Oh, yeah. That's Art.
That's Art all
Still
day.
2-0.
What else we got, Fish?
Ohio State has the largest win, or the biggest win streak of 8 in a row. So Michigan has not won in technically 9 years, but they didn't play last year. So
good thing.
You can say 8-1-0.
Put on them.
Or 8-0-1.
Yeah, it's funny to me, like, again, just a guy that doesn't have any skin in that game. It's just where's the outrage in where you stand right now? And Michigan State to a lesser degree, because they've tasted that before. They've been to that mountaintop. They've been in the college football playoff. They've played for conference championships and those types of things. I've grown real tired of that whole Michigan moniker. I think some of their fans have too. We're going to take a break. When we come back, a funny video that went around social media yesterday in the Philadelphia Phillies game. And I'm going to ask how, if Joique Bell can relate to it, Darren McCary can relate to it. My name is Neal Ruhl. We'll be right back with more Big D Energy right here, Woodward Sports Network.
Do you know why realtors love using Hall Financial as a lender? Because of our commitment to speed and service. We have nearly 4,000 five-star reviews already. Call today, 248-308-5000, or go to callhallfirst.com.
Welcome to the Call Sam Chopper Shop, where you can win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time.
Watch as the Bad Pig Custom team turns this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
And when it's finished, we'll be donating the bike to Volunteers of America Michigan to raffle off in support of our vets.
A great cause to give back to those who've given so much.
Watch for Call Sam Chopper Shop episodes on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/Chopper Shop.
Welcome back. Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, Darren McCary. Happy to have you with us. T-Foss in the building as well. And yesterday, I do appreciate all the comments, too, on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, on Facebook Live as well. You guys are making me laugh. They enjoyed Terry's before black people could play comment when Michigan got all those wins, which, if you go look it up, it's fact. I mean, don't be mad at me. Be mad at Google. But a pretty funny moment yesterday in, I believe it was a Philadelphia Phillies game where the classic bit, I've had guys, playing beer league softball. I've seen some of my friends do this before. The big swing, the long fly ball to center field, the bat flip, all of it, only for it to nestle into the glove of the center fielder right in front of the wall. And, it caught my eye on social media because, we're all getting to know each other right now here on Big D Energy. So I figured to lighten the mood a little bit, Joique, I'll start with you. I mean, have you ever had that embarrassing moment that got captured on national television or anything like that? Anything embarrassing ever happened to you when you were playing? Other than tackling a streaker? Or
that wasn't embarrassing. That was fun. It was funny. So I had one. So my second year in the league, I was playing with New Orleans, and we got to that fourth preseason game, and they were calling out the starters, and I just so happened to be starting that game. And when they call your name, you gotta run through the tunnel. So I didn't know if they were calling the defense or the offense. And so the team, we run out there, we run out there on the field, and I'm lined up with the team, and they're literally calling all the offensive players, starters, one by one, and then when they call your name, you run out the tunnel. And I look up, I said, hold up, I'm not back there. So I had to run around the I guess the Saints balloon to go back into the tunnel where no one can see me. And Dan Campbell, they were calling him, he was a quarterback. He's supposed to be the last one, but I ended up being the last one, but no one really saw it. And so it was kind of funny, a little bit embarrassing because I didn't know what was going on, but it wasn't really embarrassing, but that's probably the most embarrassing moment I had.
What about you, D-Mac? It's a little bit lesser in hockey, I think.
Well, there's a couple. I remember two. Like, you think back, there's two that I remember as far as one was in the 2004 playoffs in Calgary on a bang-bang one-timer right in front of the net against Mika Kiprasov, and I hammered it, and I was from me to you away from the net, and I got it up and everything. So reaction is put my hands up. He saved it. One of those things.
Pretty much the same thing then.
Well, it really was. Like when you are a professional athlete and I'm this far from the net and I get it everywhere that I want it upstairs, and he still makes this, like he came sliding across and it hit the block or hit his crossbar, but I had my hands up and stuff like this. The one that I've mentioned before, Rubbins Racing, is that the hardest I ever got hit, I was coming around the net in Dallas, and Mike Keene, who was part of that Colorado Avalanche, but he played in Dallas, he hit me so hard I had my head down. As I throw the puck out front and I just look up, he hit me. I lost my helmet, both my gloves, an elbow pad, a stick.
You got exploded.
God, I looked and I was like concussed, or like I was seeing stars, and I looked down and I see my arm and it looked like it was broke, and I was just like, oh. And I got up and I skated off the bench and I sat on the bench. I got no gear on. And I'm looking, and they got me on the camera on center ice, and I just looked up and I started laughing. I mean, that's all I could do. Like, okay, my arm's not broken. It was one of these things is like, all right, I put myself in a position. I got lit up. It was one of those things that all you could say is great hit, bud. You ever have a hit, like a guy lay a hit on you or something where you just got to say either I'm not going to do that again, or just, dude, nice hit?
No, so I remember we had a play. We was running a screenplay we were playing Green Bay, and we ran a screenplay, and they read it. They pegged us. And so we started doing scramble drill. And I came back across the middle, and Stafford threw it to me, and Clay Matthews caught me. Like, I was looking this way, he just ear-holded me. That was one. And another one, which that hit didn't hurt, but it was a good. It looked worse on camera than what it really was.
Yeah.
But a hit that really hurt was we were playing the Bears, and they took out our kickoff return and put me back there. And this is like during the season. And so this is like my first, kickoff return. And so I get the first one. I got about 30 yards. I felt good about myself. I said, okay, yeah, I got this. And so I go back there, I get a second one. And the hole just parted like the Red Sea. So I go to hit the hole. I'm down the sideline. I just knew I'm about to take off. And as soon as I lift my foot to take off down the sideline, somebody just ear holes me from the side. And I'm not going to say who my off returner was, but just know before the play, it was his first time out there. He was asking me, "Who do I have? Who do I have?"
Oh no!
And this is why the ball is coming to me. I said, "Just block somebody." I was blocking somebody. I couldn't point out this guy to him, and the guy hit me, dislocated both my shoulders. Hit me on this one, dislocated this one. I hit the ground, dislocated my left, and then boom, the ball. I just woke up and the ball was on the ground somewhere. And then I went back and watched film. My off returner didn't touch nobody. He didn't touch anyone. The guy that he attempted to hit is the guy that came back and hit me. And so it wasn't embarrassing. That hurt. And he got some words for me in the locker room. Like
that'd be a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would imagine that's probably among the one thing that you don't want to hear if you're going back to return a kick is the guy that's blocking for you asks you and says, "Hey, which guy do I have?"
Which way? I'm like, what? What?
But that,
like, this is the guy that we have out here, like you do it in practice. You do it in practice, But I think that was his last year playing. I think
you bring up a great point though, Joique. Some of the hits, some of the ones that are highlight video hits, like you almost don't even feel. Yeah. Like it's like you got unloaded on, but it's like, okay.
You can't hurt in two different places at once, right? You can only hurt in one place. So when you get blown up by Mike Keene.
You can only get.
I feel both my shoulders.
Wait, is that true?
Is
that your professional doctor's opinion?
Yeah,
I think I felt pain all over my body in different spots.
But not at the exact same time.
At the exact same time.
Moment.
At the exact same time.
Hey,
when I dislocated both my shoulders, you don't think I felt that?
I always thought that you couldn't feel pain in two different places at the exact same time.
That's shock. That's called shock, Neal.
Yeah, that's not actually true. Try turning 60, you feel pain all over the damn place.
Major pain? Is that major pain when he broke his pinky? Make the pain stop.
Major pain like Damon Wayans? Low down dirty even like his brother Keenan?
Neal, right now you're experiencing pain just by the people you're in between. So you know what it's like to experience pain on both sides.
Good job, Art.
Thank you.
Man, Art just glossed over that. I hit you with the BIG line right there. In the flow of the show.
In the flow of the show.
It's a little hot in here. Sorry.
I know.
Take your clothes on.
Art is like that parrot at the pet shop that just squawks and you never know when he's going to squawk and you got to.
You know what? Just like the parrot. I mean, it'd be nice if the parrots could change the stuff that they know because it's the same stuff the whole time. It's so redundant.
Yeah, so redundant. Sometimes they don't know anything.
Yeah. Terry, what about you, man? You got any good stories of stuff you were covering? What's the worst you ever felt for someone when a moment happened to them?
Well, I actually didn't feel. I thought this guy was an ass. We're gonna go to the Central Michigan intramural track meet. This dude is running the 400 meters, and he's way ahead. He turns around and he waves at people like, I got this. He fell. And then he finished third.
Karma.
And I was like, good for you, pal. Good for you.
Hate. You get your Silky Johnson on right there, huh? Just giving them the hate, all kinds of hate.
I'm so happy to see that happen.
Karma.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because you see it, usually when you see it in football, you see it from, the guy, I think he has a touchdown. Certainly we saw it in the Super Bowl with the Dallas Cowboys. In your game, Darren, the guys that are skating in on an open net and the puck rolls off the stick.
Well, remember one of the worst in hockey was probably 15 years ago, Dallas, Patrick, one of the 4 or 5, but it was against Edmonton, and he was down, and he literally was from meter away from the empty net. Puck rolled off his stick with 10 seconds left, and Edmonton went pass, scored, tied it up, right? Like one of those things. That's the whole thing is you always have to bear down and make sure. There's never a time. What about you, Neal? Like broadcasting the soccer games and stuff, or the basketball? Have you seen anything like some guy like showing off? Maybe with the 3-point shot, or like balling out and then just airballing it or something?
No, my stuff, because my stuff, like what happens to me is, you have a team that had an equipment issue, so they have a jersey switch right before the game starts. So you're calling the game, and you have your little charts in front of you, and you're calling that guy by his name, by number 4, but he's got number 6 on, and then Twitter kills you and says you're an idiot, and what are you going to do? That's really about it. Joique, you got a story for us when we come back, right?
Yeah, when we come back, I got one more. And I thought all those were the most embarrassing, but I forgot about this one because I wanted to forget about this one.
Boy.
We always remember. We'll be right back to wrap things up. You're listening to Big D Energy right here at Woodward Sports Network.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Welcome back. Big D Energy right here, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell will be back with us in just a couple of seconds. Darren McCary, T. Foss in the house as well. But it's been a great first episode of Big D Energy. Certainly appreciate all of you guys getting involved on the YouTube channel, Facebook Live, Twitter, everything. Make sure you download the app, the Woodward Sports app. You can watch the show every day from 11 to 1. Go back, catch up on stuff you missed, all of it. And, it's been good here, sitting in here with you guys. I'm excited to be with you guys. And, Joique, I know that, before we kind of wrap things up right here, I am curious to hear this story. You got me excited to hear it.
Yeah, so funny. So my rookie year, I was a personal protector on the punt team. And so as we're, going through practice, as we're going through these different things, we're going to the game. And so now I'm the personal protector. I'm on punt. I kind of call out everything we see on the punt return. And so we get into the game. We're playing the Redskins. And we go for it, or we're about to go for it on 4th down, and they pull us out, and we go off, and the punt team goes on. So I'm sitting next to the special team coach, and everybody's lined up, and the snapper, he's not snapping the ball. And we're looking like, why isn't the snapper not snapping the ball? It's because I wasn't out there to call it. And when I realized it was the exact moment our special team coach realized it, and all I hear is, Joique! And I'm standing right next to him.
Of course.
And so I run out there, made it on time, called the play out. Everything went by good. We got the punt off. Didn't get the delay of game. Didn't have to call a timeout. But what made it so bad is this 145-pounder kick returner named Banks took it to the house.
Oh. And it's still your fault. Yeah. All of that is your fault.
And honestly, it wasn't my fault.
I know, but it is.
But it doesn't look good.
Yeah,
and since they scored on that particular play, it magnifies it.
Yep.
Now, so when you lose, the small errors become big errors. Like when you win, that really don't matter. You can get a fumble in the first quarter, but you score the game-winning touchdown. Listen, you fumble in the first quarter, you can't do that. But you lose and you fumble in the first quarter, oh, they on your head. Oh, he's not dependable.
Right.
He's not dependable. But when you make plays, you get a little bit more leniency.
A little bit more leeway.
Just a little bit.
What you got, Art?
Listen, I got to say this because it's bugging the shit out of me, and I apologize for swearing. Can we do it to where before we go to commercial break, you stay in your seat? Because that's fumbling. That's fumbling.
No, how about no? It's funny because before the show, here you go. Oh, Chad wants when Neal talk, I got to go to him. Oh, when you talk, he go to you. But he was talking, and you had it on all of us.
Right, because we're
how
going
about you
to
do
a
your
break.
job?
Because we're going
to a break, so it takes us to him.
No.
Yes.
There's a big difference.
But did you say it before the show?
Let me do my job, and you just stay in your seat.
But do your job then and talk to me and tell me when you guys about to go to break. I'm gonna have all three of you guys before the show.
Let me talk to you.
You know what this is? You know what that was?
Big D energy.
You know what? You're both sort of right. But you know what? You could have had Joiques back there and just one shot at Neal out of the break.
Because whenever we get a break, we get the regular one like
what
that.
I'm saying is it's about the team.
Joiques
saying is it's about he just came back explaining
him.
about special teams.
Yeah.
I understand that, and then you could say, but it's only that one time, and then I would say to Joique, it really messes up the flow that I'm trying to present because you are sort of like him calling the plays. Where's it going to come downhill?
But Joique should know better.
No, but if
Joique
you
should know better.
But if you would watch his back,
you should know me.
You know what? He's the star, bro. So have his back and let him show that.
He's the
instead of putting it out.
No, but hey, Art, you know what though, Art? I was to be fair, I was fully prepared for that because when you had the one shot on, I can see it out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, all right, I know Joique's gone. So I gotta kill, because chances are if you got to run to the bathroom or whatever, I got to kill about 20 seconds. So that internal clock goes in my head.
No, because this is where I'm going to speak. I've held my urine for 6 hours today. 6 hours today. Hold it like
Are you going to speak or are you going to whine?
Like a big boy.
Are you going to speak or are you going to whine?
No.
Okay, so nothing that happens before has anything to do with this show. Right?
I haven't pissed in 6 hours.
This show is only 2 hours, so I don't know what you're doing.
I think in honor of Art, then we need to change the name to Pent Up D Energy then, huh? Is that
I'm
fair?
just saying, I have a stadium buddy attached to my you-know-what right now.
So what are you bitching about? What the hell are you bitching about? It sounds like you're all set.
No, because if I would have left,
I see, because it's all about Art.
You guys would have been
It's all about Art.
You change the show to D Energy.
No, because you would have put Adam in there.
Hey.
I don't get it.
I want you guys to understand that this is what this show is going to be. It's going to be sports and me putting my foot up Art's butt. That's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be.
And I might kick it while it's up its butt, just so it gets in a little fucking deeper where he likes it.
And I'll try to cover it while it's all going on air. That'll be my thing. I'll be here trying to just hold it all down.
Play by play.
Try to just pretend nothing's going on around me and just look right in the camera.
Neal, do you have to use the bathroom, Joique? Should we cut out now?
Yeah, can we? Yeah.
No,
man,
we are not.
No. Thanks for stopping in to Big D Energy. We catch you guys tomorrow. Gang.
How dare you. I'm not leaving. Yeah. No, we still got 5 minutes.
No, it's actually 4 minutes and some change.
Yeah.
If you want to be technical. It's 4 minutes and some
Are
change.
we leaving?
You can't win. I mean, when you realize that you can't win no matter what it is, because as you're looking up here, Big D Energy is right in your face.
Here we
so
go.
you can either figure out how to get along, or we can do this every day.
Here we go. Chad, but not that Chad. The art of being a crybaby. Look at that.
We can go now.
There it is.
Dealing with the big play.
Hey, I need a gavel. I need a gavel. This is too dangerous, but there you go. That was perfect.
That was a good one.
Perfect.
No, that was a good one. No, but it is exciting. Big D Energy here, the only all-digital sports network, all-digital sports platform here in Detroit. Some big, exciting things going on. Lots of change right now around Woodward Sports. So make sure you do download the app. I'm ready to roll with these two cats, though, for real.
One of the things we talked about, Neal, and this is like what's huge, and Joique and I have talked about it's so exciting, is because how involved, integrated you are into the city. And I said to you before, see, the whole goal to let everybody know here is that the greatest fan base in this city is the Northern Guard.
Right.
For the football, right? So how do we take that mentality to, could you imagine the Ford Field, Comerica Park, Little Caesars, to have that energy and that sort of European soccer vibe, cheering, the Olay, stuff like that? You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. But right now it's so hard for me to focus because I am freaking sweating down the crack of my back all the way down to my butt.
2.5 minutes, bro. 2.5 minutes.
No, it's crazy. This is crazy. I don't
Sacrifice.
understand why we have air on in here. I don't know why we don't have air on today. I don't know.
It's a good question.
Why we don't have air on.
Well, you know why.
No, I don't know why, because no one complains about the air on here. So I don't understand.
It's cool down here.
You don't got the lights on you.
is always cool, though. Like, that's different.
I just saves me a workout. This is like the treadmill right here. So I mean, you just go shower off and say you worked out.
This is hot in
Work
here.
is smarter, not harder.
It's crazy, and it's hot outside. It's just rain. It's humid.
What about the training camp in the summer? You were probably saying the same thing.
You know what's funny? In training camp in the summertime, I have on football pads.
Yeah.
And I'm built for sweating. I don't like to sweat when I have on my regular clothes. Who wants to sweat when they have on their regular street clothes?
Football pads, then.
You couldn't last 20 minutes.
Hey, Art, guess what? He doesn't have to. He's Joique Bell. He's got a spot at the desk. That's where you are.
Joique Bell. Everybody bow to Joique.
I like when he does
Everybody
his hand.
say goodbye
It's
to
crazy
Art.
he does his hand
say
like
goodbye.
that. Why you do your hand like that when you...
I'm just impressed. Look at me, I'm Joique Bell. I complain about the AC. Toughen up. Welcome to hell. I'm your captain. Go ahead. Now we can end the show.
Detroit Dabber 313 on YouTube Live says maybe Art should change it to the big depends energy. Get you some depends or something,
They
bro.
said the art of incompetence.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
The art of incompetence. That sounds perfect. Hey, man, get us out of here. Gang, gang.